Hi, voices. I just hope this sounds okay. Hold on. I'll have to check in a little bit. But how are you guys? If anyone's there, if anyone can hear me. I just realized I'm not centered at all. That's okay. That's okay. But how are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. Hi, Bucks. I'm going to be trying ASMR again, and I hopefully my not my microphone, my what's it called? My internet decides to just make myself small. You might see that some things might have changed a little bit, and that is that my model is moving a little bit more from side to side, especially in this room. I'm doing well. I'm glad. And that's because I wanted to make this a little immersive. Can save up for today though. That's okay, don't worry. Still, I appreciate you passing by. Thank you. Yeah, I got some things lined up for today, and that's creepypasta reading. I tried to make this look creepy, but I couldn't without the filters going all crazy on me. So that's that's interesting, you know. That's fun. It's really fun. But for today I am going to be reading creepypastas. I don't know if you guys can hear the fire crackling thingy. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. Yeah. We're going to be reading creepypastas today. Especially old ones, and honestly seeing the titles of some of these gave me a lot of nostalgia. It was quite pleasant to reread the name of these of some of these. It reminded me a lot of my childhood, reading things that I totally shouldn't have been reading when I was younger. But that's okay. We do a little trolling, you know. We get a little silly sometimes. But yeah, the first one, which is the one I couldn't finish reading the other day, is the Russian sleep experiment, which is, yeah, this one is the one I couldn't finish reading the other day because my internet decided to go all haywire on me that day, and I couldn't just be happy, and I couldn't just read it to anybody. So I'm going to start with this one. The estimated reading times will be 12 minutes, so it shouldn't be a long read, unless I get distracted, which I probably will. Widely regarded as one of the most popular and widest spread creepypastas ever written, the Russian sleep experiment is notorious as much for the gruesome nature of its content as it for its plausibility. To this day, a large portion of articles written about the story are attempts to investigate its validity or to debunk it as a hoax. Something that speaks not only to the story's effectiveness, but also to the deeper social anxieties to which the story appeals to. For those who don't know, the Russian sleep experiment is a supposedly factual account of experimentation acted out on subjects by the Soviet government and military in the wake of World War II. The experiment ostensibly meant to explore the effects of sleep deprivation on the human body. This was also used to test a new gas that could keep people awake for days at a time. The report documents that the generation of drugs experimented upon individuals commonly referred to within the creepypasta community as the test subjects. The horrifying results of these experiments and the crazed almost subhuman or demonic creatures it produces are often illustrated alongside the story, with one image in particular being representative of the entire myth. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them. Since it was toxic in high concentrations, this was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass a 5-inch glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, coats to sleep on, but no bedding, running water, and a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained having been compromised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones on one-way mirror portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think that they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity, with them. At first, the researchers suspected that this was an effect of the gas itself. I have to go now, it's okay. I have to go now, sorry for leaving so early. That's okay, Box. Thank you for passing by and have a good day. Thank you. Mwah. Be careful out there. I'm gonna be here for a while, so don't worry. Let's see. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber, repeatedly yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about his behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather didn't react to it at all. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, then pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives. They were afraid they were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We're opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice response: "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out amongst the researchers and the military forces funding the research, unable to provoke any more response to the intercom. It was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. Chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphone began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of the loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead subject's thighs, chest, stuffed into the drain. Center of the change. Hi Savvy, welcome. Yeah, we're not sleeping with this one. Actually, I have a bunch of them lined up. Hold on. Okay, so first I wanted to go with the Russian sleep experiment, which is the one I couldn't finish the other time. Also, how's the audio? I forgot to ask about that. How's the audio? Does it sound good? Is it... Do I sound bad? Or is this actually, like, okay? I just want to know so I can take this into consideration next time I do ASMR. But, okay, but yeah, I'm going to be doing the Russian sleep experiment, the rake, Mr. Whitemouth. Obviously, audio is good. Slenderman, Bend Round, and Eyeless Yak. If I'm still up for it, I will do more. But at the moment, I'm doing the Russian sleep experiment. Hold on, where did I leave? Oh yeah. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subject's thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects had also a large proportion of muscles and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of the flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth. Wait, why? I think my favorite creepypasta is that one that they mentioned in JoJo with Rowan, that spirit lady? English hard. Wait, if you can find it, I can read it. Like, after all the other ones I have lined up. If you can find it, I'd be down to read it, honestly. I'd be very much down to read it. Alright, okay. Back to the Russian sleep experiment. I need to stop getting distracted. It's my undiagnosed ADHD that I truly don't know if I have or not. Probably it's ADD, I'm not sure. Closer examination of the position and angles of the wound indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and diaphragm, how do you even say that? Okay, we discovered a pro. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. Words remain in place. I'm so sorry. I truly don't know how to pronounce that word. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor. Words is hard. On the floor, fanning out about the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh, that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility. But still, many refused to return to the chamber to remove test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. It's called Lictan, or humans can lick too. Oh wait, oh I remember now. I know the one you're talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna read that after I finish reading the other ones that I have chosen. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of 4 living subjects had his spleen rupture and bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one of the doctors. When the heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes, he had bled out to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flare for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach, just repeating the word more over and over and over, each time getting weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 subjects were heavily restrained and moved to the medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas man to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraint when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him in under. He managed to tear out most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist. Even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding that wrist as well, it only took a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under. And the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy, the test subject that died on the operating table was found that his blood had tripled the normal level of oxygen. His muscles were still attached to his skeleton, but were barely torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggles to not be subdued. Most of them were from his own force. His own muscles had stirred on him. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed. He was unable to beg or object to the surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval. When the anesthetic gas was brought near him, he shook his head. Yes. When someone suggested reluctantly they tried the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for an entire 6-hour procedure of placing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempted to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The The paralytic cleared the system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped their own guts, and why they want to be given the gas again. The only response that was given to them was, "I must remain awake." All three subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, former KGB agent, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected against the idea, but they were overruled. In preparation for being sailed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all three stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was restraining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might. First left, then right, then left again, or something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having the first to be wired for an EEG, almost all of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes they flatlined inexplicably. It looked like as if he were repeatedly suffering from brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut. At the same time his movement hit the pillow, his brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flatlined for the last minute as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed now. His brainwaves showed that the same flat lines as the one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, and turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to the bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things, not with you," he screamed at the man strapped on the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." Subject smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within all of you, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you state into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven, where we cannot tread, however you say that." The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out, "So nearly 3. Oh, wait. Okay, I like this website. They're giving us a little bit more info about everything else. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I like this website. They give us a lot more info about it. Appearance and origins. Whilst the number of images associated with the Russian sleep experiment and the story is of an event rather than an individual or character, there is one image that is most well known and commonly linked to the story, which most fans will instantly recognize. To spookify me. Alright. Ah yes, to spookify me, not too spooky for me. I don't know if I'll be doing more creepypasta readings in the future. Honestly, I am tempted because it's honestly fun. I was actually thinking of maybe next week, instead of it being creepypasta readings, it would be something like scary folklore stories reading, because a place that I like to read about when it comes to scary stories is like the Philippines. I have read some stories from there, and maybe I was thinking that I could read a story from that place, you know, some stories from that place, some folkloric stories. I think that would be cool. Maybe do it like for different countries and stuff. But this is just another test that I want to make before before I do that officially, before I turn this into like a series or something. I was thinking of doing maybe like 5 or 8 stories per country, because there are a lot. I wanted to start with the Philippines mostly because it's where I found the scariest ones. It was either the Philippines or another place that I forgot about. But yeah, it seems like an interesting idea to me, at least. Again, before I continue being stupid. Okay, yeah. Here we go. The image shows a humanoid creature staring blankly into the camera. The figure is horribly emaciated. What? It's deformed, I suppose. A fact that is further emphasized by the extent to which the eyes are sunken back into the sockets, the brow and cheekbones protruding to an unnatural extent. The teeth, meanwhile, are of unusually large size and forced forward with the thinness of the subject into a maniacal looking grin. The subject's hugely exaggerated features and large head and huddled posture, first with the concept of them being as much of a victim as a threat. The image is in black and white, which lends some authenticity considering the period in which it's alleged to be taken. Thankfully, the image is a fake, and rather than being a human being, is in fact a photograph of a Halloween prop named Spasm, created in 2005 at Morbid Enterprises. Wait, that's actually kind of cool. I've never heard of that, actually. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Hold on. There is some disagreement as to where the story first originated. While some sources claim that the tale's first appearance can be linked back to a user known as Orange Soda, who posted the story to the Creepypasta website on August 10, 2010. The other traces its origins to an August 8, 2009 post on the RIP747 WordPress blog, pointing out that the story was also posted to the Misc board of bodybuilding forums with the username Falcon Punch on August 20th of 2009, which would again predate to Orange Soda's post on the Creepypasta. It's also worth noting that the post on the RIP747 blog also claimed that the story had been shared with him by his brother. And whilst this might just be a narrative device intended to distance the author from the piece, it could also be regarded as evidence that the story existed prior to this post. While some believe that the British author Ice to have written the original Creepypasta, based upon the fact that she produced a book with the same name, She has clarified that she was simply inspired by an earlier work and is not the myth's originator. Okay, there is a lot of information here. Oh my god. That is so interesting. Let's read out some of the comments. Let's see. This is by Kepiket. Kepiket. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. The cast is almost like PCP. The subjects exhibited almost superhuman strength and went crazy lengths to get what they wanted, and literally ignored the fact that they were severely injuring themselves. Oh. So people are saying that the voices, the people who were saying we are what you hide from in bed, it's the boogeyman. People are saying this is the boogeyman story in real life. God, this brings me so many memories from when I first heard this creepypasta. I remember I was terrified of that story and I was like, oh damn, that's actually scary. That's actually scary. And I remember talking to, I think it was one of my older cousins about it, and they were like, why are you reading that? You're too young to be reading that. But then they would also read those stories with me because they were interested and we were both interested, so we both read them together. It was really funny. It was really funny to me how we said, oh yeah, we're scared of this, but we also want to read it, you know? I mean, at least to me, it's kind of funny how we were like, yeah, this is really scary, but continue reading. Come on, I want to continue reading this. I don't know, I just find it funny. Oh, I accidentally muted this. Well, I remember when I would be so scared of what I would read online because I thought everything was true. Something that I thought was true was Slenderman. And the thing is that when I first heard the Slenderman creepypasta, my brother would what that little prick, what the little butthole would do to me was to say, don't go into like your school's forest, don't go in near the woods that are like close somewhere near my town. Don't go there, you might get lost, and Slenderman might try to kidnap you and stuff. And I was like, because I was a child, I was a baby. I was a baby. um, I would believe him. So every time my friend said, hey, wanna go out and play in the woods or go into like the little forest at the school, I would like, no, I don't wanna go. Slenderman is going to be there. Slenderman is going to come for us, and I would be super paranoid. But then my parents discovered that what my brother was doing, and and they would put an end to it. They would be like, stop scaring your little sister. That poor girl. That poor girl. She's gonna have a heart attack. She's gonna have a heart attack, man. Stop that. And he stopped, but it left me scared for like 3 years until I was like, I don't know how old I was until I forgot about that. But thanks to that, every time I go into like a forest or something, I get this like bad feeling about it. I get this feeling that I'm going to get chased or something is behind me. So I'm just a little paranoid when I go to forests, especially if I go alone. If I'm with other people, then I'm fine. Of course, I still get the feeling that, oh god, something's behind me, isn't it? Something's right there, isn't it? Now it's just like, oh, nothing's there. You know, nothing's there. I'm just being paranoid and stupid. I still get mad at my brother for making me scared of creepypastas, even though now Slenderman is one of my favorite creepypastas. Like, to me at least, like, I haven't read it in a while, but I do remember Slenderman being um really well written for me. I remember that genuinely made me scared, even though I knew it was fake. But then again, my brother sent me the fear of, oh yeah, Slenderman is going to come for you and he's going to kidnap you in the middle of the woods. Ooh, be scared, be afraid. I would be. I would. Yeah, that was a fun experience. I would say. But anyways, let's go on to the next story, and it's the rake. The estimated reading time is 9 minutes. God, I haven't heard anything about the rake for a long time. Kind of interesting to see some of these names pop up here again, because it brings me back, you know? It brings me back. Estimated reading time 9 minutes. Alright. As the sun begins to set and the trees huddle together in small dark groups as if shielding themselves against the quickly coming of the night. I'm here, sorry, I had to get a what? Birthday treat for my dog. It's your dog's birthday? Really? That's so cute. I was just talking about how my brother traumatized me with Slenderman and how I now was scared to go into the forest alone because I get paranoia and it's not fun. It is. Oh my god, that's so sweet! Happy birthday to your dog! Yay! Little claps because I don't wanna. I was gonna say overstimulate the mic, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's another word. I don't know what the word is, but I don't wanna. Yeah, I don't wanna do that. But happy birthday to your dog! Alright. Hold on. I lost where I was at. Damn it. Oh yeah. I'll start from the beginning. As the sun begins to set and the trees huddle together in small dark groups, as if shielding themselves against the coming of the night, you step quietly and quickly through the carpet of falling leaves and stray twigs, recognizing and noting as you do every rustle, every snap of a branch created by your own footfalls. You note them so that you can distinguish them from the other sounds. The soft rustling of leaves, the crack of breaking somewhere behind you. You increase your speed knowing that night is not the only thing drawing closer. The sound increases as your pace and heartbeats quicken. Turn into the fading light, catch a single glimpse of the hunched, crawling thing that is pursuing you, creeping forward like an animal, yet looking so horribly human. You only caught a simple glimpse, but then you start to run. One glimpse is enough. Oh, hello, Quiet Gamer. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well and hope you enjoyed your stay. Let's see. The overview. mostly associated with the image of a bald, hehe, bald. Hi, Dronix, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay, again. Mostly associated with the image of a bald, pale-skinned creature hunched at an angle with bright orb-like eyes, staring into the camera. The rake has become a staple creepypasta monster, adopted by many authors in shorthand for a creature resembling the one depicted in the photo and placed in various settings. Hi, I'm happy it's Friday, and thanks. I'm happy it's Friday too. I tried to make spooky Friday nights a thing in here. But this time I wanted to not play a game, but instead do some creepypasta reading with with an ASMR-ish tone. I just woke up. You really just woke up? Damn. Well, good morning. Good morning, sleepyhead. Hope you slept well though. You just woke up and you'll be hearing some creepypasta stories. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice waking up and seeing that I, Lily, decided to just read creepypasta stories in an ASMR creepy-ish setting? Alright. I'll continue. During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest. Before an apparent blackout was enacted, little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Finally got the weekend up. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, hello. Thank you. I kinda didn't sleep well, but that's definitely nice. Why didn't you sleep well? Insomnia? Too much noise somewhere? Or maybe a light? Because, okay, something I used to do when I was... Okay, something that I do now is that, I bought a sleeping mask and it helped me a lot with, my sleeping problems because my window is a little bit too bright for me at times. So when I bought the sleeping mask, it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot with sleeping. In case that's your problem, in case you have a problem with lights and stuff, I recommend buying a sleeping mask. It's been a while since I watched some ASMR. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay here. May I ask where you're from? Sorry, I don't display that information, but if you want to truly know, I'm from somewhere from the moon. I live in the moon. I put my neck in the most uncomfortable position ever. Oh no! Oh no! I know that feeling. It's horrible. It's genuinely horrible. I understand the feeling. Actually, that happened to my mom today. But I don't know how she slept because she says her whole back hurts a lot. And it's like, oh damn, is it that bad? But yeah, I understand. Fair enough. But then again, Alright, back to the story. Primarily focused in rural New York State, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions range from extremely traumatic levels of pride and discomfort and an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remain powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 2,000 documents dating between the 20th century and present day, spanning the 4 continents. In almost all cases, In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. The Rake Creepypasta. A suicide note from 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence. And once I awoke and saw his form, once again, I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes farewell to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. A journal entry. It's not a year after World War II. Yeah, actually, the first creepypasta I read was the Russian sleep experiment that was allegedly did happen in real life. I'm saying allegedly because a lot of people say it's fake. And yeah. It says it's from, okay, the Russian sleep experiment, it said it was from it happened during World War II. And yeah, it was interesting to read. People were calling the boogeyman's experiment, and I laughed at that. I felt bad for laughing at that in case that is actually real, but at the same time, I'm sorry, it just sounds, the word boogeyman just sounds funny to me. Okay, let's continue. I keep getting distracted because I'm stupid. A journal entry translated from Spanish, 1980. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terrors. I have experienced the greatest terrors. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. And the letter ends there. The Soviets did some creepy stuff. I would not be surprised if it was real. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was real. Boogeyman, it was a Russian sleep experiment, but some people in the comments of that post were calling it the boogeyman creepypasta because of the things the people were saying there. They were saying stuff like I'm the thing you hide from when you get in bed. So people were saying, is that the boogeyman or something? I just thought it was really funny. Just the boogeyman experiment. I got a great jump scare. Holy crap. Okay. A mariner's log, 1691. Still quite a silly take. Yeah, like the Russian sleep experiment is pretty much people went insane because they didn't sleep for like a month and a half, or like half a month or something like that, and they went insane and started actually having schizophrenic episodes. But what people took from this was the boogeyman experiment. Ah yes. The boogeyman experiment. I mean, the name is quite fitting if you think about it. I think the name is quite fitting. Like going insane because you weren't able to sleep. Like, I would imagine that some hallucinations must be going on there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually saw things like a real life Pokemon, I suppose. Okay, but here we go again. A mariner's log, 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again at the request of the rake. The booty man experiment. I just imagine like some experiment with like a dude and him going like to a plastic surgeon or something, and him getting a what's it called, a BBL, and that's the first BBL in history. I'm just imagining that. I'm so sorry. True, mental health is scary. It is. It is. Because something about me is that I studied psychology for a year before I dropped out due to personal reasons. And the thing is that I got to learn a lot about mental illnesses and how it actually affects the human mind, and like how scary it can actually be. Like, for example, it sounds horrible. Okay, but back again. For example, how there was this the story of this one woman who, if I'm correct, she killed her baby and then tried to kill her family. And 911 was called, and the thing is that she had an actual schizophrenic episode with like religious religious things added on top of that. I did that too and also ended up dropping out. That's fair. Because I'll be honest, I really like psychology and how I studied it, and I would like to study it again, honestly. The professors at my university, I didn't like them. I didn't like them. They were actually very mean to me. They were actually very mean to me because they would ignore me whenever they were like looking for participants, and because I like to participate in class. I'm a nerd, okay? I am a nerd. I would raise my hand trying to participate in class, saying, yeah, this and that for X or Y. And the thing is that they would ignore me. But then a friend would raise his hand, and the professors would suddenly not ignore him. I would be ignored for like 10 minutes until somebody else raised their hand. Oh no, sorry for your experience. It's okay. It's okay. I just know that they were not very fond of me. No being mean to Lily. I'm going back for early childhood. Ooh. But yeah, the thing is that one of my suspicions is the professors that were mean to me is because they wanted the boys' attention, because that happened in in my university. A teacher had inappropriate relationships with a student, and it was an experience. But yeah, that's what I thought. At least that's my working theory, because they were actually kind of mean to the girls, and to the few boys that were in the class, they were not that mean. They were actually smile at them and be like, "Good job for knowing that. Good job." I'm gonna call them the fake name. Good job, fake name. And it was like, bro. Like, everybody, like, all the girls noticed that, and most of us didn't like it. And a lot of my class didn't like it either. Sexist much, yeah. It was pretty sexist of them. It made me kind of sad, because I truly loved studying psychology, but the fact that they were showing obvious favoritism towards the boys, it's just horrible. Well, it seems to happen a lot, but that time they were mean just to me because of me being there. Yeah, listen, something that I realized when I went to university is the fact that a lot of professors will be mean to you for absolutely no reason. They'll sometimes be nice. Just sometimes. Maybe you can try again, never too late to go back. Maybe. But the thing is that I had to drop out due to my mental health. I won't go into detail, but I will say that it got to a point where I actually developed depression. And I had made attempts to do something bad. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to get too explicit. But yeah, that's something that happened to me, and that's why I truly don't want to go back to university. Even though I'm being pressured from almost everybody I know to go back. but I don't want to risk it again. I don't want to risk being in that mental state again. So yeah, that's why I don't want to go back, at least to that university. Maybe to another one in the future. I'm sure I'll be fine if I try in another one, but at the moment I just wanna focus on myself and stuff. Fair enough, I understand someone through that, my mental health. I'm so sorry you did. Like, that's also why whenever I made the announcement for things that happen in my chat, I also linked some resources that people can call in case they are in need of help, because at least for me when that happened, well, I did have some people, I kept it hidden from them, and I didn't know who to call, and I didn't know that those things that help hotlines were a thing. So yeah, it's not forever, and it took me years to finally have the courage to go back. That's understandable, because I understand not wanting to put yourself through that, especially if you already had like bad experiences in school and stuff like that, which has happened to some people I know. They said they didn't want to go back there because they don't like studying. They like learning, not studying. Time heals, but I still can't forget. Yeah, time heals. Like, I would definitely say I'm in a better place now than I was that day. I'm in a definitely in a better state of mindset. I'm doing what I want. And this is gonna sound, I guess, a little ridiculous, but in a way, when I first discovered B2ing, it kind of saved my life. Because, I'll be honest, I'll be completely honest here. Um, Before I joined AlterLive as a whole, before I joined, like, the online world, I was kind of a shut-in. I was a hikikomori. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a no social person, pretty much. That's the best way I can describe it. And I was depressed, and I wouldn't do much. But then when my older brother, that's how some you hope you. Thank you. Thank you. Lady, I'm in the same boat. I'm Jenny. Sorry to hear that. It's just, I hope you're more or less fine right now. I am fine. I am fine. I feel better. But again, my brother introduced me to VTubers. The first VTuber I ever watched was Inugami Korone. I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. That seems fun. I don't get to show my face. I get to stay anonymous and be a funny, silly girl on the internet. I want that. That's also one of the reasons I started YouTubing myself. I want to try something new. Yeah, like, it's okay. Like I said, this is interesting. This is something I wanted to do, and the thing is that something that pushed me even further to try this was Holomyth. When it first debuted, I was there. I was there for the first generation. I qualified for a senior discount. I qualified for a senior discount. Her name sounds familiar. Inugami Korone. Yeah, she's from Hololive. I love her. And the thing is that, from all the girls in Myth, that I love the most, was Takanashi Kiara and Calliope. Especially Calliope. She is, to this day, my biggest inspiration. She, with her songs and stuff, she actually helped me, like, get through the days when I used to be in college. And, I actually started, like, trying out things, trying out streaming, and then, I was found by AlterLive, and they were like, you sound cool. You seem funny. You're like a funny girl. Do you want to join us? And I was like, sure, why not? Japanese? Yeah. Inugami Korone, she's from the gamer thingy. Oh, gamer, something like that. I forgot. But yeah, when Elder Light found me, they were like, you seem funny. You seem like you could be a good fit for our new company. And I was like, really? I was like, damn, are you being for real right now? And so they told me, yeah, we'll just go through a small interview. We'll just go through a small interview, and I passed the interview. That's why I'm here. And they were really nice to me. They were actually really nice to me, and honestly, ever since I started like VTubing, even though it's been like uh 4 weeks, I think, of me starting to um to streaming like this, to stream us Lily, to stream us, well, the possessed doll of Afterlife. I actually been happier. I actually been like wanted to get up in the mornings and doing more stuff around my house, getting things done around my house, helping my moms, and I just been happier in general. I just been happier that I got here. I It was genuinely nice when I first joined. I was really nervous. I still am, honestly. I still am a little nervous because I'm still new. I'm actually close to getting to 160 subscribers, which is honestly exciting. It is exciting that I'm actually going a little fast. I That's great to hear. Right. I'm going really fast, and I just think it's nice that I got this opportunity. And I know a lot of people don't get this opportunity to do what they want. And I'm grateful I do. I am grateful I am getting this opportunity. And honestly, I just hope that I can continue streaming like this for a while. That's how it should be. Do the things that you love and enjoy. That's why I'm happy I got recruited by AlterLive. They were really nice to me, and they helped me get a new PC. They helped me get this model. They helped me with a lot of things, which I'm still truly grateful for. It's a nice experience to be here. I like being here pretty much. I like my genmate, my only genmate Nico, even though I haven't been able to stream with her for my internet. I still love being able to talk to her, being able to hang out with management and like plan out projects, help my help with my drawings and stuff. That's great. Glad you found a good company. Yeah, I'm also glad about it. I'm also really glad about it. It's a really nice feeling to be welcomed and be able to do something I always wanted to do. We like you being here as well, Lily. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you. I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that VTubing in general kind of saved my life. It gave me a new motivation to go on. It gave me new reasons to wake up in the morning and try to be a better person. Because I don't consider myself to be a bad person. At least that's what I like to say. I don't think I'm a bad person. So, now that I get the opportunity to do what I want and not having to worry about a lot of things, I think I become an even better person. At least that's what I like to think. At least that's what I like to think. At least that's what I'm saying to myself, that I am becoming a better person. But then again, there's my mom who says that I definitely changed from what I was when I was younger. That I become more lively. That's the beauty of the internet, peeps. From all over the world, world and you have the world as potential fans expected. Yeah, it's honestly it makes me kind of nervous to think about, because like I didn't expect to get so much support in so little time. It makes me happy to see that people actually like me, because when I first started, again, I was like, people are not going to like me. People are gonna think my voice is annoying. People are gonna say, um, my voice doesn't go with my model. People are gonna say X and Y, and my mind was just filling with doubts and many doubts. But then I realized people like me. People actually like me. And I was surprised. I cried 2 times because of that. I cried 2 times because I realized I am actually liked. And I thought I wasn't. I thought I was just another VTuber of the bunch. Someone who wouldn't make it big. But I'm almost at 160 subscribers. I'm getting the opportunity to do the things that I love. I'm truly happy. I am genuinely happier than ever. Yeah, I'm glad things are going the way, especially that you enjoy it. I wish you lots of luck, and I'll be there for just looking for your son, if there's a possibility. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it's part of growing. I used to be hella shy. I got a lot better. Me too, honestly. I have gotten a lot better when it comes to socializing, thanks to VTubing. I'm still shy. I'm still a huge introvert that likes to be in her little corner. But, thanks to VTubing, I have been able to grow a lot more. Along the ways, once you get out there will be people who judge you, but sure, you will have more supporters. Sabi and I said you would look amazing with positive energy. Ah, I don't want to cry in the creepy ASMR stream. But yeah, I'm so glad to have the support I have now. I have Ruby, I have the voices in general. I have Ruby, I have Savvy, I have the voices in general. It makes me really happy that I do. It makes me really happy that the support I'm getting is really overwhelming at times. It makes me, I don't know, it makes me feel some sort of way, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that I feel this way, you know? That I get support, that I get people here supporting me, saying, we like you, we like your voice, you have a cute voice, you have a nice personality, you're funny, you're entertaining. Because it's something that it makes me happy. It just makes me truly happy that I get to do what I love and get support for it. It's okay, 괜찮아. 괜찮아. nen. I remember that TikTok. That TikTok sounded so funny to me. Again, I completely lost the track of the creepypasta reading. I lost the track of the creepypasta reading and instead focus on talking about how happy I am. I'm so sorry. I am so But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you for pretty much everything that for all the support I've been going through so far. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. And honestly, I hope I get to keep feeling this way or the rest of my life. All right. Back again with the rake. From a witness, 2006. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip to Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. Thank you for being you. Thank you, guys. I don't want to cry in the middle of a creepypasta stream. And thank you for being honest. I like to be transparent, and this is gonna sound narcissistic, I hope it doesn't, but I like to talk a little bit about myself as well, so you guys don't think I'm this unreachable person, you know? I'm not like this perfect doll, this perfect idol. I am not. I'm far from being that. I'm a human. I have feelings and thoughts like everybody else. like a lot of VTubers say these days, there is a person behind the model. And that's why I like to share my experiences and my stories. So you guys can understand that I am a human and I will act like a human. I am Lily and I'm alive. That sounds weird to say, but you guys get it. I'm sure you guys get it. That's why I like to share my stories. Either funny, sad, neutral, or whatever. It's it's fun. It's fun to share that with everybody. It's fun to share that we are all humans, you know? That we are alive, we're right here. We are being a healthy community of voices inside my head. I like it. It's nice. I chose most YouTubers for a reason because I can interact. Hope you will remember me once you get big. I will. I promise I will. Oh, there's something. It sounds humane. Come on. Okay, so a little secret of mine that I'd like to share here is that sometimes I like to write down the names of the people that come here and interact quite a lot, and it's like these people will get special treatment. These people will get special treatment, or at least they will be like in my heart forever if I get to see them again. Yeah, sure, I love knowing people. It's fun to get to know people. It's honestly a nice experience. You get to know people, you get to know a lot of things of people. I like that. What about me? Will you remember me? Of course I will. How could I forget the fact that you asked to use my lobotomy ASMR as a sample? I'm usually lurking. That's okay. Honestly, if it wasn't for lurkers, I think I'd probably like dead. And from time to time I will chat. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're lurk and you'll also chat. Hold on, I'm thirsty. God, I love water. I will remember everybody here. I promise. I promise. God, it's so hot today. Alright. Let's see. Again. You may have some cries, but still love you regardless, and we hope to feel them so that you end up being even more perfect. Honestly, I think the cracks are something I can be proud of. Because they show that I made mistakes. They show that I'm not perfect, even for a goddess, the goddess of the moon. And yeah, I think the cracks are perfect. I think the cracks make me perfectly human. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Oh my god. Alright, no more distractions. Time to go back to the rake. Alright, from a witness 2006. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. At about 4 p.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him I thought he had gotten out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet from the bed. So quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting for the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, Sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. I'll be back, look. We're just going to go on a walk. Alright, we'll be here. We'll be here waiting for you. Don't worry, gamer. Have a good one, and thank you for passing by. Mwah. I will back if you're still streaming. I'll be here for a while. Don't worry. My husband was peering over his arm at me, tucked into a fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably close to 5. It just seemed like a while. Just looking at my husband. The creature then placed its hand on his knee and ran into the hallway, leading to the kids' room. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he could hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching hunched over about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughters. She was badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is a rake." My husband drove his car into a lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. He did not survive. Being in a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town over who had a similar story. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature and have referred to as the lake. Okay, my cat just decided to raid me. Hello, cat. My cat just decided to raid me. What are you doing, you stinky? Okay. He just dropped my phone. What are you doing? Stop. What are you doing? No, stop getting on my... Stop. Stop. What are you doing? I'm trying to read. Can you not? Can you not? There. Can you not? I'm trying to read something. I'm trying to read something. You stinky. Oh, you're lucky you're so cute, otherwise I would have sold you to a circus. I'm selling my cat to a circus. He's crazy. He's trying to destroy everything in my room right now. He is trying to destroy everything in my room right now. Is your cat clingy? Yeah, he's very clingy to me. He gets mad if I'm not paying attention to him. Yeah, he's begging for love. I'm gonna stop petting him. I wanna see what he does. my cat is my cat decided to just sit on my lap. Well, I guess I have no option but to keep petting him forever. Stop. You're not allowed on my desk. You're not allowed on my desk, you stinky. It's purring so loud. It's like a little motorcycle. It's like a little motorcycle. Can you not? Stop. Go on the bed. Stop. Stop. Do not. Do not. Alright. Thank you. Alright. Where was I? Oh yeah. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature we now refer to as the rake. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the rake. That was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visits was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people mentioned being spoken to, my daughter including. This led us to wonder if the rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night. Every night, for 2 weeks. I would tediously scan through the sounds of me rolling around my bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the 2nd week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleeping while purring through the recording at 8 times normal speed. This took almost an hour every day. And sorry I've been listening to you, but I'm cutting out some hell right now, so the chat may be dead a bit, but a pure dive into math. But I'm here, alright? Alright. It's okay, Jonix. Thank you for being here. It's really appreciated. Thank you, thank you. You go. I'll be the background noise. Don't worry, I'll be the background noise. On the first day of the 3rd week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone else listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before. And now I believe that it spoke when I was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason, the voice on the recording immediately brings me back to that moment. The thought that's what have gone through my daughter's head makes me upset. I have not seen the rake since he ruined my life. But I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me. Damn. Oh, there's even the origins and images. People say there's footage of the rake. Wait, say what? Wait, what? I said what to what? Apparently people say there's like real quote unquote real footage of the rake. I don't think there is. Pretty sure it's just like your typical fake video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just your fake video. Probably made with AI or something. Alright. On to the next creepypasta. I've never heard of this creepypasta. I don't think there is either. Huh. Okay, the name is Mr. Whitemouth. Estimated reading time 6 minutes. Never heard of this one. Yeah, this is one of the few I have never heard. I have heard of Slenderman, Ben Drown, and Eilish yet, but not Mr. Whitemouth. I have no idea who that is, but we'll read it anyways. Because, yeah, fun, I suppose. Hold on, let me make myself a little bit smaller. There we go. During my childhood, my family was like a drop of water in a vast river, never remaining in one location. We settled in Rhode Island when I was 8, and then we remained until I went to college in Colorado Springs. Most of my memories are rooted in Rhode Island, but there are fragments in the attic of my brain which belong to the various homes we had lived in when I was much younger. Most of these memories are unclear and pointless. Chasing another boy in the backyard of a house in North Carolina, trying to build a raft to float on the creek behind the apartment we rented in Pennsylvania, and so on. But there is one set of memories which remain clear as water, as though they were just made yesterday. I often wonder whether these memories are simply lucid dreams produced by the long sickness I experienced that spring. But in my heart, I know they're real. We were living in a house just outside the bustling metropolis of New Barnyard, Maine, population 643. It was a large infrastructure, especially for a family of 3. There were a number of rooms that I didn't see in the 5 months we resided in there. In some ways, it was a waste of space. But it was the only house on the market at the time, at least within an hour's commute to my father's place of work. The day after my 5th birthday, attended by my parents alone, I came down with a fever. The doctor said I had mononucleosis. I'm so sorry I'm ruining the immersion because I don't know how to pronounce certain things. But anyways, which meant no rough play and no more fever for at least another 3 weeks. It was horrible timing to be bedridden. We were in the process of packing our things to move to Pennsylvania, and most of my things were already packed away in boxes, leaving my room barren. My mother brought me ginger ale and several books several times a day. They served as the function of being my primary form of entertainment for the next few weeks. Boredom always loomed just around the corner, waiting to rear its ugly hair and compound my misery. I didn't exactly recall how I met Mr. Whitemouth. I think it was about a week after I was diagnosed with mono. My first memory of the small creature was asking him if he had a name. He told me to call him Mr. Whitemouth because his mouth was large. In fact, everybody about him was large in comparison to his body. His ears, his eyes, his crooked ears, but his mouth was by far the largest. You look kind of like a Furby. A Furby? No, wait, no, not a Furby. You look like a Furby. What the heck? There's no way. Ah, yes, let's just call a creepy creature a freaking Furby. And I would imagine because this story is from like 2010, it's like those creepy, like those ugly looking Furbies. That's so silly. Oh god. I I hate how Furbies look back then. They were really creepy looking. But now there's like the new Furbies and they're cute. They're cute. But I grew up with the monstrosities that were Furbies back in 2000 like 7 or something. I don't remember. But they were creepy and scary. And people still a Furby. It's horrible. Furbies were horrible. And it's even worse because people are making like quote unquote pieces of art with it. Someone made a Furby robot dog and it's so ugly. It's ugly as hell. Not only that, but that one Furby plushie. There's like a long Furby. This is disturbing. I'm no longer gonna look at Furbies. I'm scared. Yeah, I remember their eyes and beaks freak me out. I remember, I think it was, I don't remember, okay, no, never mind. I don't remember which fast food restaurant had a collaboration with Furbies. But I remember those were like the only Furbies that didn't traumatize me because the rest of the Furbies, they were scary. They were genuinely so scary to look at. I hated them. I was traumatized by those things. They were freaky and not in the good way. They were freaky in the what the hell is this way. But anyway, Mr. Widemouth stopped and gave me a puzzled look. Furby? What's a Furby? He asked. You don't want to know. I feel like the creepy thing, Mr. Wide. Oh god, there are even words. Listen, if Mr. Whiteman was to look at a Furby, I'm pretty sure he'd be the one that was traumatized instead. But anyways, I shrugged. You know, the toy, the little robot with big ears, you can pet and feed them. I was like, a real pet. Oh, Mr. Whiteman resumed his activity. You don't need one of those. They aren't the same as having a real friend. Furbies were made by demons and the devil himself. Yeah, pretty much. Furbies were scary to look at. I hated them. I still hate them. Oh wait, what? Hello there. Honestly, when I saw that you're an ASMR stream, I did not expect this kind. Thought I'd be more like the traditional kind, the complaining dolls, a sick avatar. Hello, welcome, Marcus. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to make a creepy ASMR, but I'm also talking about a little bit about myself. I don't do the traditional kind of ASMR mostly because I'm a little shy, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to make a ASMR reading like creepy stories. Like I said before, I'm not sure if you were there for it, but I mentioned that I wanted to make ASMR reading creepy stories or creepy folkloric stories from other countries. The first country I wanted to tackle was Philippines because that's where I read most of the weird and scary stories. At least that's what I remember. But yeah, that's sort of my plan, to be reading like stories from different places and doing it in an ASMR kind of style so people can relax while hearing creepy stuff. At least I think it's a good idea. At least to me, it's a good idea. I think. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I can also try to do the girlfriend experience ASMR, but I don't think I I don't know how to do it, honestly. Not gonna lie, this type of ASMR works even better. Honestly, I applaud you for not being a traditional ASMR channel. Mostly I find them oversaturated and a bit too soft, if that makes sense. Yeah, I try not to talk like I don't try to talk a little bit too soft. I know people like when ASMR channels speak softly, but I don't like it. Mostly because I cannot talk softly for a long time. I cannot be speaking like this for a long time. I can try. I did that for the lobotomy ASMR, but of course that was a joke. That was a joke, you know. I do know people like it when whisper ASMR, but I don't like it. I just like to talk normally and do things like this. I think it's like my own type of ASMR. I'm not trying to be like overly how do I explain this? I'm not trying to be overly like lovingly and overly like whispery and trying to be seductive. I'm just doing my own thing. But wait, where was I again? Oh yeah. We didn't do much during his first few days. Mr. Weimar just looked at my books, fascinated by the stories and pictures they contained. The third or fourth morning after I met him, he greeted me with a large smile on his face. Hey, what? Oh, hold on. I got an idea for that. Did not mean to zoom in there. I did not mean to zoom in there. I am so sorry. There we go. This is a new type of ASMR, and it's called "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. You need to pay that shit. It's actually a good offer. We'll increase the price of your car's extended warranty like for $50 for $50 a month. It's a good deal, sir. I promise. You'll have a warranty insurance and I don't know what else it has. Hold on. Here. Here. What kind of ASMR does your channels focus on? I found it in the way you talk to be refreshing and the others. Also the background helps with what you're trying to do too. Well, I mostly try to be like a storyteller type of ASMR channel. I try to be an ASMR storyteller, mostly because I find that to be the most relaxing. I don't like doing the whole girlfriend type of thing. I can do it, I can probably do it, I can probably try to do it, but I don't wanna. Sounds like a nice sample, especially with distortion. What did I? Listen, if you wanna clip it and use it for a sample, do it. I'm giving you permission. Listen, I'm okay with people doing whatever they want with my content. As long as it's nothing hateful. It's as long as it's nothing hateful. And it's and you actually give me credit. A storyteller, eh? Well, you just gain yourself a new subscriber. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I don't want to focus myself on being more of a storyteller teller than being a girlfriend experience type of channel. No hate to those people who do that. It's just not my niche, you know? It's just not my type of thing, I'd say. Alright, thank you, I'll remember that. Yeah, like I said, you're allowed to do... Oh, listen, if you want to clip things of me out of context, just link it. I think I'm gonna like it here. You seem like a very kind person. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your stay. Listen, my only boundaries when it comes to my content is that you credit me. And Do not use it for anything that's hateful. Do not use it for any type of hate speech of anything. And that's all I'm asking for when it comes to my content. Other than that, I'm fine with pretty much everything. So yeah, if you want a clip, clip me like out of context, me saying some sussy type of stuff, feel free to do it. Feel free to do it. I don't mind. I don't mind. Just credit me. And yeah. I'm sure that in the future, management will tell me like we implemented new rules for clipping, for clippers, for X or Y, so you know they don't try to do bad stuff with your content. I'm pretty sure that will happen in the future, but at the moment I'm establishing my own boundaries, my own rules, and I'm telling you guys that it's okay to do pretty much almost anything with my content. And no uses for hateful or any type of hate speech. Why would anyone use your claims as hate speech? Anyone who basically doesn't get you, it's just to build respect. Yeah, it's just that I want to establish that right now because I've seen people take other VTubers out of context, and it ends up sounding like really awful, and the VTuber has to explain everything. I think I like this new voice. I like all my voices. All my voices are nice and sweet to me. Which reminds me, I should advertise my Discord server later on. I say later on because I wanna continue reading. I wanna continue reading. Alright. Oh wait. Yeah, no worries. I think the sources and right credits right in my sample pack, so I can just copy paste it. Also, link and save full sources locally, so no worries. You'll be credited. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. That's like my only boundary. Credit me and don't try to paint me in a bad light. Or try to take me out of context in like a bad way. Thanks, Ruby. I tried to make such an and everyone tried to make it reflect in real life too. You sound like a nice person. But yeah, okay. Back to the story. We didn't do much during those first few days. Mr. Whitemouth looked at my books, fascinated by the stories and pictures they contain. The third or fourth morning after I met him, he greeted me with a large smile on his face. I have a new game we can play, he said. We have to wait until after your mother comes to check on you because she can. It's a secret game. After my mother delivered more books than soda at the usual time, Mr. Whitemouth slipped out from under the bed and took my hand. We have to go to the room at the end of this hallway, he said. I objected at first, as my parents had forbidden me to leave my bed without their permission. But Mr. Whitemouth persisted until I gave in. The room in question had no furniture or wallpaper. Only a distinguishing feature was a window opposite the doorway. Mr. Whitemouth darted across the room and gave the window a fair push, flinging it open. He then beckoned me to look out the ground below. We were on the second story of the house, but it was on a hill. And from this angle the drop was farther than 2 stories due to the incline. I like to play pretend up here, Mr. Whitemouth explained. I pretend that there is a big, soft trampoline below this window. I jump. If you pretend it's hard enough, you bounce back up like a feather. I want you to try. I was a 5-year-old with a fever, so only a hint of skepticism darted into my thoughts as I looked down and considered my possibility. It's a long drop, I said. But that's all part of the fun. It wouldn't be fun if it was only a short drop. If it were that way, you may as well bounce on a real trampoline. You're one of the best creepypasta narrators I've heard, second only to Mr. Creepypasta. I'm actually reading the creepypastas from his website. So it's quite a coincidence that you say that. But yeah, I'm reading the creepypastas from his website. I like Mr. Nightmare. He's pretty good too. Wait, who's Mr. Nightmare? I never heard of that. I have heard of Mr. Creepypasta, and that's where I'm getting the creepypastas from. But I've never heard of Mr. Nightmare. But okay. I toyed with the idea, picturing myself falling to thin air, only to bounce back to the window and something unseen by human eyes. But the realist in me prevailed. Maybe some other time, I said. I don't know if I have enough imagination. I could get hurt. I do not listen to Mr. Nightmare. Oh my god. Mr. Whiteman's face contorted into a snarl. Only for a moment. Anger gave way to disappointment. If you said so, he said. He spent the rest of the day under my bed, quiet as a mouse. The following morning, Mr. Whiteman arrived holding a small box. I want to teach you how to juggle, he said. Here, have some things you can use to practice before I start giving you lessons. I looked up in the box. It was full of knives. My parents will kill me, I shouted. Wait, Candle Cove, Russian Sleep Experiment, and Mr. Bear Cellar Saga are my favorite creepypastas. I was actually reading the Russian Sleep Experiment, and then I decided to read the comments, and somebody said it's the it's the Boogeyman Experiment. I used to really like listen to Dark Somnian. Oh, wait, is that a wait? What is that? Okay, let's continue. I keep getting distracted. That's not one I'm familiar with. Yeah, me neither. I shouted, horrified that Mr. Whiteman had brought knives into my room. Objects that my parents would never allow me to touch. I'll be spanked and ground for a year. Mr. Whiteman frowned. It's fun to juggle with these. I want you to try it. I pushed the box away. I can't. I get in trouble. Knives aren't safe to just throw in the air. Mr. Whiteman frowned deepened into a scowl. He took the box of knives and slid under my bed, remaining there for the rest of my day. I began to wonder how often he was under me. I started having trouble sleeping after that. Mr. Whiteman often woke me up at night, say he put a real trampoline under the window, a big one that I couldn't see in the dark. I always declined and tried to go back to sleep, but Mr. Whitemouth persisted. Sometimes he stayed by my side until early in the morning, encouraging me to jump. He wasn't so fun to play with anymore. Russian's experience is sad, but there's sweet revenge at the end, the FANART interpreted. It's a weird story. It's an interesting but weird story, if I say so myself. I like reading it, honestly. My mother came to me one morning and told me I had her permission to walk around outside. She thought the fresh air would be good for me, especially after being confined to my room for so long. Ecstatic, I put on my sneakers and trotted out the back porch, yearning for the feeling of the sun on my face. Mr. Whiteman was waiting for me. I have something I want you to see, he said. I must have given him a weird look because he then said, It's safe, I promise. I followed him to the beginning of a deer trail, which ran through the woods behind the house. This is an important path, he explained. I've had a lot of friends about your age. When they were ready, I took them down this path to a special place. You aren't ready yet, but one day I hope to take you there. I returned to the house, wondering what kind of place lay beyond that trail. 2 weeks after I met Mr. Whitemouth, the last load of our things had been packed into a moving truck. I would be in the cab of that truck, sitting next to my father for the long drive to Pennsylvania. I considered telling Mr. Wyman that I would be leaving, but even at 5 years old, I was beginning to suspect that perhaps the creature's intentions were not to my benefit. Despite what he said otherwise, for this reason, I decided to keep my departure a secret. Father and I were in the truck at 4 a.m. He was hoping to make it to Pennsylvania by lunchtime tomorrow. With the help of an endless supply of coffee and a 6-pack of energy drinks, he seemed more like a man who was about to run a marathon rather than one who was about to spend 2 days sitting still. early enough for you?" he asked. I nodded and placed my head against the window, hoping for some sleep before the sun came up. I felt my father's hand on my shoulder. "This is the last move, son. I promise. I know it's hard for you. As sick as you've been, once Daddy gets promoted, we can settle down and you can make rent." I opened my eyes as we backed out of the driveway. I saw Mr. Whiteman's silhouette in my bedroom window. He stood motionless until the truck was about to turn onto the main road. He gave a pitiful little goodbye wave. Knife in hand. I didn't wave back. Years later, I returned to New Vineyard. The piece of land our house stood up was empty except for the foundation, as the house burned down a few years after my family left. Out of curiosity, I followed the deer trail that Mr. Whiteman had shown me. Part of me expected him to jump out of behind a tree and scare me the living bejesus out of me, but I felt that Mr. Whitemouth was gone. Somehow, tied to the house that no longer existed. The trail ended at the New Binder Memorial Cemetery. I noticed that many of the tombstones belonged to children. Oh my god. Huh. Who would have thought? The little shit wanted the guy to die. Oh wait, what? How does one create a creepypasta? I don't know if I want to create an actual horror story, but I would like to try my hand at making stories smooth. Like, oh, not gonna be able to watch much because it's college time. Okay, Mop. Thank you for passing by. Have a good one. Honestly, I have no idea how to write a creepypasta. I remember I did try it myself when I was younger. Oh god, I feel embarrassed to say that. But I did try that when I was younger. But it was bad because of course it was made by like, I don't know, a 10-year-old at the time. But what the hell? It was made by like a 10-year-old at the time. And it was like really bad. Oh my god, my cat scared me. Jesus out of me. My cat scared me. He just bonked his head into my arm and it scared me. You should be a pillar of the creepypasta community. Sure, ASMR, PTV, and creepypasta aren't exactly things most would think go together, but your delivery and lore should change that. Thank you. I like to be a horror focused content creator because I like horror stuff and I like reading about horror things. Even when I was younger, I bought this like huge book about like horror stories. In a shady store somewhere. I'm joking. It was not a shady store. It was my local bookstore. No, the thing is that I bought like this really big book about like different stories in different places, and it was really interesting to read. And honestly, if I could and find that book, I would read stories from that. But then again, it's stories for children, so it wouldn't really be scary. Or maybe it would bring back some nostalgia. Maybe just that. My cat keeps wanting to go into. Alright, I'm gonna let my cat do his thing. I wanna see what he does. Okay, he just. What are you doing? Do you wanna sit there? He is. What are you doing? Wait, hold on. I need to turn on my lights. I'll be right back. I guess my cat is going to be part of my streams now. He's just sitting on my on my desk asking for love and pets. Oh, he's so cute. He's such a baby. Oh, you're such a baby. Oh my god. I'm only like a horror fan as far as old school horror films like Vincent Price, Oliver Hyde, Hitchcock, H.P. Lovecraft, and the occasional Stephen King book and occasional creepypasta. Oh, hello, kitty. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoyed your stay. He's just sitting there. He's just sitting there menacingly. He's... I don't know. He wants something from me. I have to go. Sorry for not saying long once again. So have a nice one. Okay, Jonix, thank you for passing by. And it's nice that you weren't shadow banned against by YouTube. Bye bye. Thank you for passing by and for being here for a while. Mwah. My cat is just asking to be pet. Can I move my mouse without you trying to bite me? Okay, I can. Thank you. But yes, my cat is just accompanying me in this creepypasta reading story. Oh, we only have 3 left. Then I'll read a human stick too. Oh, can you not step on my Oh, okay. Bye bye. This little stinker of a cat. Obey the will of your master. You know his ancestors descended from powerful Egyptian gods. Yeah, that's why I'm letting him sit on my desk, even though he's not allowed on my desk. But he is sitting on my desk. Alright. The next creepypasta. A classic. One that I haven't read in a long time, but still a classic. Slender Man. Estimated reading time 11 minutes. Alright. And possibly the most famous creepypasta character of all time, and certainly one that has crossed the most frequently into mainstream media. Slenderman, also known as Slenderman, is a character born of a variety of earlier influences, but which itself represents an evolution in the uses of and development of folklore. Violent real-life events linked to the Slenderman increased its infamy and even led to a moral panic based on the possible negative influences and danger that the fictional character posed to children. That's my fault. I'm the oop. Wait. Ah, yes. Inspired a kid to injure her friend to protect her family from a curse. Unbelievable lies. I do remember reading a story about that. They stabbed a girl to become Slenderman proxies or something like that, I remember. It was interesting, to say the least. Sabi, I swear to it. Ah, yes, the voice is swearing on my name. Let's see. If only I hadn't looked back. Though it was autumn, the day had seemed long. The brick walk toward the home short. As the sunlight began to fade, you and your 2 friends left the playground behind and trudged reluctantly home, knowing that you would be forced to pick up the games and conversation the next day that never came. If only you hadn't looked back, but you had. Turning, just for a moment, you glanced back toward the tree line, seeing the fingers of the branches crawling up toward the sky, and beside them, the figure. At first, you thought you must be mistaken, that your eyes in the hazy blur of twilight were playing tricks on you. But no. When you looked again, he was still there. Taller than any man could be. Thinner than even the willowy branches that extended ever upward from the trees. He loomed in the distance like the shadow of some horribly dark truth, and you knew instantly that you had to look away. That if you didn't, tear your eyes from that blank, featureless face, then soon the blank would wash over you, become you, and you would walk away slowly but surely, as if pulled by some magnetic force towards him, through you feared him, through you was though you were scared of his unnatural hide and aching whiteness of his face, the arms that seemed to stretch towards you, and the slithering tentacles behind. You turned, screening your eyes, willing yourself not to look, not to see, not to give in, and go to him. You screamed to the others, telling them the same, to not look, but as you opened your eyes, you Okay, he just came back. He just came back and he's standing in front of my face, in front of my screen. Can you let me read? Please. Thank you. What are you doing? He's brushing up against the mic. Is this considered as cat ASMR? Is this considered as cat ASMR? He was brushing against the mic. Alright, let me start again because this little stinker wants cuddles. You turn, screwing up your eyes, willing yourself not to look, not to see, not to give in and go to him. You scream to the others, telling them the same, telling them not to look. But as you open your eyes, you realize they have already looked. They were already gone. Put the cat on the lap. He doesn't want to go on the lap. But hi, father. I'm being here, but I'm currently editing, so kind of lurking, to be honest. That's fair. Alright, now to the story. Hey, stop! Don't drop. No, stop! What are you doing? Stop! What are you doing? What are you? No, leave this. Oh no, I'm gonna fight with my cat. Stop! Bad! 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 No! You don't do that! You don't do that! You don't drop my phone! That's bad! You're being a bad cat! Stop sitting on my... Oh my god! You're being a bad cat! Let me read! I cannot even read chat! No, he laid down in front of me! No, he laid down! He laid down in front of me! No! Alright, there we go. He's laying down in front of me! He's laying down on my keyboard! He's stinky! Let me read! Let me read! Why are you trying to scratch me? It's your fault. It's your fault. What are you doing? I'm trying to have a peaceful reading with my chat, but no, this little... I'll title ASMR, but I'm constantly fighting with my cat while reading this scary story. Might as well name it that. I'm fighting for my life against my cat. I'm gonna change the title to that, I swear to god. Okay, can I read now? Can I read now, you stinky little... You're so lucky you're cute. You're so lucky you're... What are you doing? Stop. No, you're gonna drop my phone. You're gonna drop my phone. No, I need that. I need that. I need my phone. No, stop. Stop. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture of what my cat is doing. What? I'm trying to stream. I'm trying to read. Can you stop? He's just sitting there. No, don't eat that. Don't eat that. What is that? No, don't eat that. What are you trying to eat? No, that's not good for you. I am fighting the ASMR. Stop! Why are you pushing my keyboard? This is supposed to be a scary story reading. But no, I am fighting against my cat. Look at him. Stop. And you're not. You're not. Stop it. Stop it. Stinky. What are you doing? This is... One day I'll be able to make a normal stream without my cat trying to pester me. One day, but not right now. I'm trying to do scary target kitty chaos. We got kitty chaos. He's trying to make me drop everything. He's trying to push my phone out of my table, and my phone is what I use to read my chat. He is fighting against my keyboard for some reason. He's taking 90% of my space. And he's also trying to push my microphone to the ground. He is being chaotic. Can I please get like 5 seconds of peace? Please. I'm trying to read ASMR. I'm trying to read ASMR, not ASMR. I'm trying to read creepypastas, you stinky. Stop. All right. Listen, I'll let you stay there if you stop doing whatever you're doing. So stop. You're so lucky. You're so cute, because otherwise I would have turned you into soup. Like I said, kitty chaos. It is kitty chaos. It is cat chaos. I'm just trying to read. Can you not? Can you stop? Next time I'm turning you into soup. Oh, now you decide to leave me alone after you decided to just mess up my whole place. Thank you, cat. Thank you. Damn. Thank you, you know. Oh, now you're eating. Right. Wow, you are... My cat is so supportive of me. I swear to God, if he tries to get on here again, I'm turning him into soup. I'm turning my cat into soup. Oh, now he wants to go. Alright, I'm letting you out. Or do you not want to go out? What do you want? What do you want? Oh, you stinky. Okay, I'll be right back. He wants to go out. I'm pretty sure this turned from a ASMR stream to me fighting with my cat to see who gets the space in front of my computer. I'm pretty sure that's what the stream has turned to. And you know what? That's okay. What do you want from me? He was bullying me. I can't believe my own cat was bullying me, man. My own cat bullying me. He is such a stinky. Alright, now to the creepypasta, to this Underman creepypasta. After waking up with a jolt, the girl laid in the bed a few seconds longer. Wait, what? Oh, wait, this is... interesting. After waking up with a jolt, the girl laid in bed for a few seconds longer. Reaching over to switch on her bedside lamp, she tried to remember exactly what had stolen her sweet slumber away. When she couldn't, the brunette swung her legs over the side of the bed and heaved herself up. Checking the time on her phone, she just noted when she saw it was midnight, the witching hour. Knowing that sleep would only abate her, she left her room for the kitchen, a good cup of coffee on her mind. As she passed by the front door, a chill spread like liquid fire down her spine. It's only winter, she told herself, focusing again on the coffee plant. Measuring out scoops, water, and preparing her cup kept her occupied. But as the dark liquid boiled, she had nothing left to keep her mind from wandering off. I decided to differ, but I decided to come back to see what other stories you have. Oh, I'm reading Slenderman right now. After the little fun intermission of me fighting against my cat, I'm reading Slenderman right now. Let's again. The chill returned and she couldn't help but glance behind her to the front door. It stood there innocently enough, just like always. The deadbolt was still in the place, and she could see nothing amiss with it. Turning back to her coffee, she did her best to forget about the feeling. With her cup in hand, she started back towards her bedroom. As she walked by the front door, she decided that a quick glance out of the peephole would help her calm her restless mind. The chill worsened with each step she took towards the door, and further away from the safety and warmth of her blankets. She pressed her empty hand against the cold metal door and took a deep breath before leaning her eye to the peephole. At first she could only see an inky blackness, and somehow seemed to swirl it in itself. When she blinked in surprise, the void melted away. She wished it hadn't. In the space there, it stood what she could only guess was once a man. The limbs were long and inhumanly awkward, with bulky joints branching off into several arms. Not unlike the branches of a tree, the creature was trapped in the black suit, somehow making the thing more nightmarish to her. The icing on the proverbial cake, however, was what was passed as the hellish thing's face. It was although her mind blurred that the ghastly visage to spare itself further shock and horror. She shoved herself away from the door, but the hand still pressed against it, and scalding mug of coffee fell, the liquid burning her bare legs as she fell backwards and tried to crawl away from the door. She knew, somehow, that her mind hadn't been playing tricks on her. As she walked away from the door, she watched as the tendrils, as black as void. She first saw a snake around through the cracks. The girl was trapped between the instinct to flee and the gut feeling to not turn her back on the door. When the door jolted, the urge to flee overcame her and she slipped through the burning liquid as she tried to make it back to her room. She knew, deep down, that she was trapping herself in a corner. But she had to get away from the door. The girl was half down the hallway when she heard the previously locked door creak open. She screamed and slipped into a wall, cracking her chin on it and stunning her. After that, there was only blackness. "Nicole?" A warm male voice snapped the woman out of her trance. As she turned around, she was met by one of her sister's doctors. She nodded, not sure if she would say anything or even she could find her voice if she did have something to say. That morning, she had gotten an urgent phone call from the hospital, saying that her sister, Lindsay, was there. Before they had even let her see it, the doctor had pulled her off to the side and insisted that they talk about what might have happened. Phrases like self-inflicted and assault had been thrown around, and Nicole felt her mind reel. She still hadn't fully understood what they had been saying until... Wait, hold on, I lost myself. Until she saw Lindsay with her own eyes. Her little sister had a bandage wrapped around her head. covering both of her ears as well as her eyes. They said it was to keep her now deadened eyes from drying out, and to try to keep infection out of the wounds Lindsay had made to her ears. Doctors had guessed that either she or someone else had jammed the pencil into them to keep her off balance or to deafen herself against something. There was a mix of first and second degree burns on her hands, legs, and feet. From what was assumed to be the coffee, her name was found asleep all over the entry of her apartment. As Nicole walked into her sister's hospital room for the first time, she thought that she had spied the silhouette of a man in the window. But she knew it was impossible. Her sister's room was on the third floor of the hospital. You missed the cat fight, Marcus? What cat fight? Basically, I was just fighting with my cat because he wanted cuddles and I was reading, so he got him in front of me. He got in front of me, in front of my screen, and he wouldn't let me read. Then he tried to. Is this still Slender Man? Yeah, apparently it is. Well, Lizzie's cat passed it. Did some ASMR through her phone and she was yelling at him. I was trying to yell quietly at him. But yeah, my cat just decided to do some ASMR for everybody to hear. He wanted to take the spotlight for a while. He wanted to be the center of attention, you know? I feel your struggle, not only for that reason, but I have a kitten that will never stop playing with stuff she's not supposed. He was trying to eat one of the things, a hair tie. Yeah, a hair tie. He was trying to eat my hair tie for some reason. So I picked it up and put it away. He was trying to eat that. He is crazy. He is a crazy cat. But he's also extremely clingy when he wants to. He is such a stinky, and we were fighting for like 10 minutes. I was fighting for like 10 minutes with my cat just to just to get him to stop bothering me and letting me read. Sounds like typical Harry. Mine eats rubber, but mine was trying to eat my hair tie. He was such a stinky trying to eat my hair tie. But luckily he didn't. He does fight with my other hair ties though. I just leave him on my bed and he's like, they deserve death. Death for the hair ties. Okay. For the next story, I'm going to be reading Ben Drowned. Oh wait, this was published on December 2017? Wow. Estimated reading time, 47 minutes. Wow. I don't remember this thing being that long. Holy. Wow, that's long. Okay, just so I don't get interrupted again, I'm going to pause the stream a little bit. Have you ever thought about reading FANART? They're basically creepypastas, but not horror. Oh, I haven't. I have never heard of that term before. But hold on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll just go freshen myself up before I continue reading. I don't want to get distracted. That's what I'm trying to say. But Boo! I came back. I like this background music. Thank you. It was made by Iyoko Phil. Iyoko Phil. I think I listed her on the description. They're really nice artists that make a lot of like free to use background music. I use it on some videos as well. I see you have returned. I hope you're not gonna blasphemy your cat's eye. And again, you're the good goddess. It's okay. My cat decided to go to sleep on top of a little fence we have. So it's okay. He's just sleeping on top of a fence for some reason. But you know what? I'm not gonna question him. Maybe he's moonbathing or something. I don't judge. But yeah, the next creepypasta I want to read is Ben Drowned. Estimated reading time 47 minutes. Oh my god. Alright. Let's start. Finally, after a long day, you get a moment to yourself. Take a deep breath, sigh out the weight of the day's pressure, and collapse onto a beanbag. Lifting the controller to load up a game and enjoy some much needed some much needed relaxing time. Yeah. This time, however, relaxing might not be so easy. This time you have loaded up an old retro game that you bought from a garage sale. A lesser-known offshoot from a well-known game franchise that you've always had a soft spot for. Unfortunately though, you're clearly not the only person who had affection for this game, or even the only one exploring the game's pixelated reality, because on the game's leaderboard, another name, the name of the game's previous owner, flashes brilliantly. This previous owner has left his mark on the game, but has not necessarily left. As you continue with the gameplay, glitches begin to appear. Operations and scenarios that shouldn't be possible begin to unfold and increasingly get you to the feeling that although it is in your hands on the controller, it is you the one who's being controlled. Suddenly, the screen changes, and only discordant tune, wrapped by the slow drag of playing backwards rings out of the speaker, and a face at once a familiar and somehow changed appears on the screen. As long crimson streaks of fresh blood drip from the sockets of the face. Staring forever outward seem to see without seeing, staring at you, through you, into you. It is at this point that you begin to realize you shouldn't have done that. Wait, there's actually a video about this? Wait, hold on. There's no way. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Now to the whole creepypasta. Okay, I need your help with this. This is not a copypasta. This is a long read, but I feel like my safety and well-being could very well depend on this. This is a video game related, specifically Majora's Mask. And this is the creepiest shit that has ever happened to me in my entire life. Having said that, I recently moved into my dorm room, starting as a sophomore in college, and a friend of mine gave me his old Nintendo 64 to play. I was stoked, to say the least. I finally could play all those old games of my youth that I hadn't touched in at least a decade. His Nintendo 64 came with one yellow controller and a rather shady copy of Super Smash Bros. And while beggars can be choosers, needless to say, it didn't take long until I became bored of living bored of beating up level 9 CPUs. That weekend I decided to drive around a few neighborhoods about 20 minutes or so off campus, hitting up local garage sales, hoping to score some good deals from ignorant parents. I ended up picking up a copy of Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye, F-Zero, and 2 other controllers for $2. Satisfied, I began to drive out of the neighborhood when one last house caught my attention. I still have no idea why it did. There were no cars there and only one table was set up with random junk on it. But something sort of drew me there. I usually trust my God on these types of things, so I got out of the car and I was greeted by an old man. His outward appearance was, for lack of a better word, displeasing. It was odd. If you asked me to tell you why I thought he was displeasing, I couldn't really pinpoint anything. There was just something about him that put me on edge. I can't explain it. All I can tell you is that if it wasn't in the middle of the afternoon, and there were other people within shouting distance, I would not even thought of approaching this man. He flashed a crooked smile and asked what I was looking for. And immediately I noticed that he must be blind on one of his eyes. His right eye had that glazed over look about it. I forced myself to look into his left eye instead, trying not to offend and asking if he had any old video games. I was already wondering how could I politely excuse myself from the situation, and he would tell me he had no idea what a video game was. But to my surprise, he said he had a few ones in an old box. He assured me he'd be back in a jiffy, and turned to head back into the garage. As I watched him hobble away, I couldn't help but notice that he was selling on his table. Little across his table were rather peculiar paintings. Various artworks that looked like ink blots that a psychiatrist might show you. Curious, I looked through them. It was obvious why no one was visiting this guy's garage sale. These weren't exactly aesthetically pleasing. As I came to the last one, for some reason it almost looked like Majora's Mask, the same heart-shaped body with little spikes protruding out. Initially, I just thought that since I was strictly hoping to find a game at this garage sales, some Freudian bullshit was projected itself into the ink blots. But given the events that happened after, I'm not so sure now. I should have asked the man about it. I wish I would have asked. After staring at the Majora-shaped blot, I looked up at the old man. He was suddenly there again, arms length in front of me, smiling at me. I'll admit, I jumped out of reflex. I laughed nervously as he handed me a Nintendo 64 cartridge. English hard. It was a standard gray color, except that someone had written Majora in it in black permanent marker. I got butterflies in my stomach as I realized what a coincidence this was, and asked him how much he wanted for it. The old man smiled at me and told me that I could have it for free, that it used to belong to a kid who was about my age, that didn't live here anymore. There was something weird about the man, the way he phrased that, but I didn't really pay attention to it then. I was too caught up on only finding this game but getting it for free. I reminded myself to be a bit skeptical since this looked like it was a pretty shady cartridge, and there's no guarantee it would work. But then the optimism inside me interjected that maybe it was some kind of beta version or pirated version of the game, and that was all I needed to be on cloud 9. I thanked the man, and the man smiled at me and wished me well, saying, "Goodbye then." At least that's what it sounded to me. All the way, the car ride home, I had a nagging doubt that the man had something else. My fears were confirmed when I booted up the game. To my surprise, it worked just fine. And then there was the one save file named simply Ben. Goodbye, Ben. He was saying, "Goodbye, Ben." I felt bad for the man, obviously a grandparent, and obviously going senile, and I, for some reason or another, reminded him of his grandson Ben. Out of curiosity, I looked at the save file, eyeballing it. I could tell that he was pretty far in the game. He had almost all of the masks, 3 out of 4 of them. I noticed that he had used an owl statue to save his game. He was on day 3, and by the stone tower temple, with hardly an hour left before the moon would crash. I remember thinking that it was a shame that he had come so close to beating the game, but he never finished it. I made a new file named Link out of tradition and started the game, ready to relive my childhood. For such a shady looking game cartridge, I was impressed at how smoothly it ran. Literally just like a retail copy of the game, save for a few minor hiccups here and there, like textures being where they shouldn't be, random flashes of cutscene at odd intervals, but nothing too bad. However, the only thing that was a little unnerving was that there are times an NPC would call me Lynx, and other times they would call me Ben. I figured it was just a bug. I've looked in the programming causing our files to get mixed up or something. It did kind of creep me out though after a while. And it was around after I had beaten the Woodfall Temple. I regrettably went to save files and deleted Ben. I intended to preserve the file just out of respect of the game's original owner. It's not like I needed the files anyway, hoping that it would solve the problem. It didn't. It did and it didn't. Now NPCs wouldn't call me anything, or my name should be dialed. Those were just blank space. My save file was still called Link though. Frustrated, and with homework to do, I put the game down for the day. I started playing the game again last night, getting the lens of truth, and working my words towards the Snowhead Temple. Now, some of you more hardcore Majora Mask players know about the 4-day glitch. For those who don't, you can Google it, but the gist of it is right as the clock is about to hit 000 on the final day. You talk to the astronomer and look through the telescope. If you time it round, the countdown disappears and you essentially have another day to finish whatever you were doing. Deciding to do the glitch and to finish the Snowhead Temple, I happened to get it right in the first try, and the time counter at the bottom disappeared. However, when I pressed B to exit the telescope, instead of being greeted by the astronomer, I found myself in the Majora boss fight room at the end of the game. Creepypasta arena. Staring at School Kid hovering over me. There was no sound, just him floating in the air above me, and the background music which was regular for the area. Immediately my palms began to sweat. This was definitely not normal. School Kid never appeared here. I tried moving around the area, and no matter where I went, School Kid would always be facing me, looking at me, not saying anything. Nothing would happen though. This kept up for about 60 seconds. I thought the game was bugged or something, but I was beginning to doubt that much. I was about to reach for the reset button when the text appeared on my screen. You're not sure why, but you apparently had a reservation. I instantly recognized that text. You get that message when you get a room key from Anju at the Stockpot Inn. But why was it there? I refused to entertain the notion that it was almost as if the game was trying to communicate with me. I navigate the room again, tested to see if there was a sort of trigger that enabled me to interact with something here. Then I realized how stupid I was. To even think that someone could reprogram the game like this was absurd. Sure enough, 15 seconds later, another message appeared on the screen. And again, like the first one, it was already pre-existent. Go to the lair of the temple's boss. Yes or no? I paused for a second, contemplating what I should press and how the game would react when I realized select no. Taking a deep breath, I pressed yes, and the screen faded to white, with the words "Dawn of a New Day," with the subtext blank beneath it, where I was ported to fill me with the most intense sense of dread and impending fear I have ever experienced. The only way I can describe the way I felt is having this feeling of inexplicable depression on a profound scale. I am normally not a depressed person, but the way I felt was such a feeling that I didn't know it even existed. It was such a twisted, powerful presence that seemed to wash over me. I appear in some kind of weird Twilight Zone version of Clock Town. I walk out of the clock tower as you normally do when you start from day one, only to find that all inhabitants were gone. Usually, with the fourth day glitch, you can still find the guards and the dog that runs around outside the tower, but this time, they were all gone. What replaced it was the ominous feeling that there was something out there, in the same area as me, that it was watching me. I had 4 hearts in my name, and Hero's Bow. At this point, I wasn't even considered for my avatar, but I personally was in some sort of danger. Perhaps the most chilling thing was the music. It was the song of healing, ripped straight from the game itself, but played in reverse. The music would get louder, building up so as you could expect something to pop out of you, but nothing ever did. And the constant loop began to wear on my mental state. Every now and then, I would hear the faint laugh of the happy masked salesman in the background. It was quiet enough so that I wasn't sure if I was hearing things, but just loud enough to keep me determined to find him. I looked in all forms of Clocktown, only to find nothing. No one. Textures were missing. West Clocktown had me walking on air. The entire area felt broken. Hopelessly broken. As the reverse song of healing repeated for what must have been the 50th time, I just remember standing in the middle of South Clocktown, realizing I have never felt so alone in a video game before. As I walked through the ghost town, I didn't know whether it was a combination of out-of-place textures and the atmosphere and the haunting melody of once a peaceful and soothing song being butchered and distorted. But I was literally on the verge of tears and I had no idea why. I hardly ever cried. Something had gripped me here, and this powerful sense of depression that was both burning and crippling. I tried to leave Clocktown, but every time I attempted to zone out, the screen would fade to black and I could just zone into another part of Clocktown. I tried playing my ocarina. I wanted to escape, and I did not want to be here. But every time I played the Song of Time, or Song of Sorry, it would only say, "Your notes echo far, but nothing happens." By this point, it was obvious the game didn't want me to leave, but I had no idea why it was keeping me here. I didn't want to go inside the buildings. I felt that I would be too vulnerable there to whatever I was terrified of. I don't know why, but I came up with it, but maybe if I drowned myself at the laundry pool, I could spawn somewhere else and leave this place. Hi, Mimi. Sorry, I haven't been reading chat. I just got too concentrated. I said zone in and ran towards the pool. That's when it happened. Link grabbed his head, and the screen flashed for a brief moment of the happy masked salesman smiling at me. Not Link. Me with Scold's kid's screen playing in the background. And then the screen returned. I was staring at the Link statue from playing the song Elegy of Emptiness. I screamed as the thing just stared back at me with that haunting facial expression. I turned around and ran out of the back into the stock Clocktown. And to my horror, the fucking statue followed me. And the only way I could compare to this was Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. Every so often, at random intervals, the animation would play of the statue appearing behind me. And it was like the thing was chasing me, or I don't even want to fucking say. Haunting me. I'm reading Been Drowned. I'm reading Been Drowned. By this point, I was on the verge of hysterics, but not even once did the thought of turning off the console occur to me. I don't know why. I was so wrapped up in it. The terror felt also real. I tried to shake the statue, but it would literally appear right behind me every single time. Link started to begin to make weird animations I had never even seen him do before. He would flail his arm around, or spasm randomly, and the screen would cut to the happy masked salesman and smiling again for a brief moment, before I was face to face with that fucking statue again. I ended up running to the Swordmaster's dojo and ran to the back. I don't know why, but in my panic, I just wanted some kind of assurance that I'm not alone here. To my dismay, I found no word. But as I turned to leave, the statue cornered me in the cubby in the back. I tried attacking the statue with my sword, but to no avail. Confused and backed into a corner, I suddenly stared at the statue, waiting for it to kill me. Suddenly, the screen flashed again to the happy masked salesman, and Link turned to face my screen, standing upright, mirroring the statue, looking at me along with his copy, literally staring at me. Whatever was left of the fourth wall was completely shattered while I ran out of the dojo, terrified. Suddenly, the game warped to me in an underground tunnel, and the reverse song of feeling queued up again. I was given a brief moment of rest before the statue started appearing behind me, this time aggressively. I could only take a few steps before it would summon behind me again. I hurriedly made my way out of the tunnel and appeared in the sounding clock town. I ran aimlessly in a sheer panic. Suddenly, I read that scream as the screen faded to black as new dawn of a new day, and blank appeared on my screen. The screen faded in, and I was standing on top of Clock Tower, its cool kid hovering over me again, silent. I looked up and the moon was back, looming just meters above my head, but the Skull Kid stared at me hauntedly with that fucking mask. A new song was playing. The Stone Tower Temple theme played in reverse. In some sort of desperate attempt, I equipped my bow and fired off a shot at Skull Kid, and it actually hit him. He played an animation of him reeling back. I fired again. The third arrow, a text product appeared that won't do you any good, hee. And I was picked up off the ground, levitated upwards on my back, and then Link screamed as he burst into flames, instantly killing him. I jumped when this happened. I have never seen this move but used by anyone in game, and Skull Kid himself didn't have any moves. As the death screens played, my lifeless body still burning, the Skull Kid laughed and the screen faded to black, only to have me reappear in the same place. I decided to charge him, but the same thing happened. Link's body was lifted off the ground by some unknown force, and he immediately burst into flames, again killing him. This time, during the death screen, the faint sounds of the very songs of healing could be heard. On my third and final try, I noticed that there was no music playing this time, that there was an eerie silence. I remember that the original encounter with the Skull Kid, you were supposed to use the ocarina to either travel back in time or summon the giants. I attempted to play the Song of Time, but before I could hit the last note, Link's body once again horrifically exploded into flames, and he died. As the death screen neared its end, it began to chug as if the cartridge was trying to process a lot of something. When the screen came to, it was the seen as the first 3 times, except this time, Link was lying on the ground, dead in a position I had never seen in the game before. His head tilted towards the camera, with the skull kit floating above him. I couldn't move, couldn't press any buttons. All I could do was just stare at Link's dead body. After around 30 seconds of this, the game simply fades out with the message, "You met with terrible fate, haven't you?" before kicking you out of the title screen. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again, I noticed my save file was no longer there. Instead of Link, it was replaced with "Your turn, your turn." 3 hearts, 0 mask, and no items. I selected "Your turn," and immediately when I did, I was returned to Clock Tower rooftop. The scene of my dead Link and the skull kid hovering over with the skull kids laughing, looping again and again. I quickly hit the reset button. When the game booted up again, there was one more save file below "Your turn," entitled Ben. Ben's save file was right back where it was before I deleted it, and the Stone Tower Temple with the moon almost crashing. I turned up the game off at some point. I'm not superstitious, but it's way too fucked up, even for me. I haven't played it at all today. Hell, I didn't even get any sleep last night. I kept hearing the reversed Song of Healing music in my head, and just remembering the sense of dread I felt exploring Clocktown. I dropped back to the old man's house today to ask him some question with a buddy of mine. No way I was going there alone, only to find that there's a "for sale" sign in the front yard, and when I rang the door, no one was home. So now I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts and recording what happened. Sorry some of this has grammatical errors and whatnot. I'm running on no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I relieved it at a second time writing this down. But I feel like there is still something more than meets the eye, and that there's something calling to me to investigate this further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I don't know what, and if I could get hold of the old man, then I would be able to find some answers. I need another day or so to recuperate before tackling this game again. It's already taken a toll on my sanity, I feel like. But next time I do this, I'm going to be recording my footage all the way through. The idea to record only came to me towards the end, so you could see the last few minutes of what I saw, including Scold Kid and the elegy statue. It's on YouTube here. I'm going to stay in this thread for a little while longer, where I fall asleep to answer any question you guys might have, or hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light into this, or maybe things I should try to do. I think I'm going to play Ben's file tomorrow to see what happens. Maybe I was supposed to do that all along. I don't even believe in paranormal shit. This is a little fucked up. But maybe this Ben guy is just a really good hacker / programmer. I don't want to think about the alternatives if he isn't. That's the end of the copy paste. I'm hoping that maybe there's some kind of running gag that the developers have, and other people have gotten gagged or had copies of this game like this. It really scares me. And there's a part 2. Oh crap, there is a part 2. Oh my god, there is so many parts. Hold on, I did not expect this to be so long. Okay, there's 3 more parts for me to read. This is genuinely long. There's even videos about it. They even linked the videos out for stories. Dun dun dun. I genuinely didn't expect this to be so long. Oh my god. I think I'm going to not read the rest of the parts, mostly because I don't wanna make this longer than it needs to. Hi, cutie pie. I got a personal creepy story. Feel free to share it. Really finally realizing how long creepypastas can be. The thing is, I remember hearing this one, but I don't remember it being so long. I just remember it was, I just remember it being kind of short. Not this long. Like, maybe because it was, I was young, I remember it wrongly. Yeah, true. Oh yeah, it always puts me to sleep eventually. But yeah, I think I'm not going to read, this one. Um, Mostly because I don't want to make it long. And I also want to read the Humans League too. That's the one I want to read. I was gonna read Eyeless Jack, but I think Humans League 2 is a little, yeah, it's a little shorter. It's very short, very much shorter. Vendron is one of the most detailed ones. Yeah, that's what I realized. They liked a bunch of videos about it. That's honestly really interesting. Alright, the next, and probably last story, was requested by Sabito. Sabito Furami. Humans can lick too. Once there was a little girl who had anxiety. Luckily, she had a little dog that helped her with anxiety. He slept under her bed whenever she was anxious. She'd place her hand at the edge of the bed and the dog would lick it, and she'd immediately calm down. She also did this just before bed. One night, she followed her usual routine, placing her hand at the edge of the bed. Her dog licked it and she fell asleep. She was woken up in the middle of the night by a nightmare. When she woke up, she heard a weird noise, like water dripping. Drip, drip, drip. Feeling anxious, she placed her hand at the edge of the bed and her dog licked it. She immediately felt better and fell back asleep. The next morning, the girl woke up to a horrible sight. Her dog was hanging in her closet, dead. Written on the wall in the dog's blood were the words, "Humans can lick too." Yeah, that was the shortest story I read. It's kind of interesting because I found the story on Wattpad, and now I'm getting fanfic, yaoi fanfic about Naruto. I don't know how to feel about that. I was expecting to find more scary stories, but I'm now finding yaoi fanfic of Naruto. Oh, I guess that's it for today's story. Honestly, something I would like to do is, like I mentioned before, is to read, scary folklore stories. I don't know how it's exactly it's called. I suppose myths and legends. I suppose myths and legends from other countries. And like I said, I wanted to start off with the Philippines, Mostly because most of the stories I read there are actually kind of scary. So I thought it might be a good idea to start there and do around 5 to maybe 8 stories from the Philippines. And then now moving on to another country. I suppose that once I grow my channel a little bit more, I'm going to do a poll so you guys can decide what country should be next for the scary ASMR rating. But yeah, thank you so much everybody for coming to today's stream. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time we spent together. And I hope to see you soon again. And yeah, mwah, I love you. Bye bye.